Hello, and welcome to my bi-yearly video where we go over my top 5 players in each role. Let's make sure I'm recording. I am. Um, so this is just my opinion, who the 5 best players are right now in each role. I try and give some time since MSI. Before I do this, I don't want MSI to overly cloud my judgment and, eliminate the previous split or previous splits, even years of what a player has done. Keep in mind, this is not all time. And I do this every 6 months roughly. So I'll do this after Worlds. I did it after Worlds last year. I intend on doing it again. Caveat, usually there are some people that think I, favor the LPL over the LCK in these sometimes. I just want it to be known that my MSI predictions were right. If you haven't circled back and owned up to the comment section that you may have, spewed in. So there's that. We're going to go top lane first. So I've been trying to think how I wanted to do this. Because I really didn't I don't want to say I didn't think it through. I just wanted to really be off the cuff. Let's be honest here. And as far as top lane's concerned, so I have the first 4 in my head. It's number 5. I think I had Shanji number 5 going into the year, and he didn't really do enough for me. But at the same time, did another LPL top or LCK top really step it up and make me want to put them in there? Okay, so we're going to go with Zika 5th. LNG's top. He's a fabulous player. It was his first really good split. Reminiscent of Shanji, the split before, and not to say Shanji isn't still top 10. I think Shanji is still an excellent player and with a bright future and will appear on this list again. But I don't think he was better than Zika this past split. 4th is going to be Keen. Personally, I think Keen was the best top laner in the LCK this past split. There's an argument to be made that he should have been MVP, in my opinion, based on how well he did for KT. But at the same time, I don't think he is above 3rd place or 2nd. So Zeus is 3rd. Zeus, once again, we're taking into account how he struggled against Doran, how he struggled at MSI. He's an excellent player, very young, has a bright future as well. But at the same time, he has struggled against who is 2nd in Bin. And, the MSI numbers from 2022 actually were pretty interesting. Zeus definitely did very well in laning, but could not take advantage of those leads. Now, in the MSI, that just happened, Bin got the better of him again. Zeus, in these big moments, not really showing up. First is 369 because he can do it all. So we're going to find that there's going to be a lot of slobbing on JDG in this one, which is going to cause people to think things. But at the same time, they thought things before MSI were wrong. No accountability, but then think they can still comment. And it's like, okay, well, just so you know, you were wrong. So 369 can do anything, which is why, personally, Bin is my favorite top laner, but 369 can do more. And Bin started showing glimpses of being able to do other things, which I think is important. And if he can continue to do that, that should help BLG in summer and to improve going into Worlds, because they are going to be a threat for Worlds. Jungle. So I have the top 3 easily. I mean, really easy. 4. Easily the top 4. Trying to think of, I'll probably forget some players, but the 5th one, I don't, like, there's not going to be Western players up here. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, honestly, Yike crosses my mind, but really it's only been one split, and I want to see him do more. I've seen Zika play more than one split. Like I said, he played better this past one than he'd ever done before, but I've seen him do other things where Yike still leaves a little bit to be desired in the facilitator category. Shoot. So the thing is, like, in the LPL, they're like good junk. Well, I think I know what I have to do. Right, so what do we got? We got that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. Okay. Owner is 5th. Excellent player like Zeus, but at the same time, struggling to get it done. And I think that there are players that are just simply doing more for their team than owner. 4th is JJ. JJ for EDG was excellent this past split. I didn't give EDG as much credit as they probably deserved. I think JJ has really returned to form after 2022 that I thought was pretty bad. 3rd will be Tarzan. And in my opinion, there's a case to be made that Tarzan was probably the 2nd best jungler in the world this past split. But at the same time, I'm looking at more than just the last few months. I'm looking at a larger section of play. Tarzan in 2022 really sucked, in my opinion. Made some very questionable decisions and builds and champion pool and things like that. But at the same time, he did very well. And I think he was my MVP over Scout. It was close between those two for LPL MVP. 2nd is Canyon. And this is where people say, but Canyon wasn't good this past split. I think Canyon was the catalyst to everything Damwon did. D+, a lot of people want to be like, oh, Deft and Kellen. Watch the early game. Canyon goes down there more often than not. And because of that, Canyon is the reason they get ahead. Canyon is the reason they're succeeding. Canyon is fantastic. Is this meta fitting Canyon to a T? No. Even Showmaker said that. But I think Canyon is still an excellent player. 1st is Kanavi. And, you've got some fanboys that think Kanavi. I had somebody say that Kanavi wouldn't be even, like, top 4 in the LCK. Sorry, but that Nautilus at MSI Finals confirms how good Kanavi is. Not to say Nautilus is a high-skill champion or anything, but the fact of the matter is that he's able to do that. I respect the hell out of that. There's a reason why I think the best player in the world is the best player in the world, which we haven't written down yet, and it's for a similar thing. Being able to literally do anything like that on a whim is freaking incredible. And, I think a lot of people don't give him his flowers to the point that they should. Now mid lane. First 3 are easy. Then it's the next 2. If Cream wasn't so one-dimensional, Yagao is certainly not going to be up there. There is no way in hell over my dead body. No Western players, of course. The thing is, like, with the LCK, nobody really separated themselves this past split because of the way that everything was played. And personally, I think BDD did well, Faker did well. There's an argument, I think, I think I said after the split, 6 or 7 players could have been argued for the top 3 based on stats and opinion. And that in and of itself, I'm not going to like, there's some players on that list that I just wouldn't put up here as the top 5 after just one split. Zeka, I want to drop out, frankly. Very one-dimensional. That's really coming to the forefront here. So the top 3 are easy. I don't think Rookie is quite what he once was. Damn. I don't want to include Zhao Hu either, really. Let's see, don't want to include Cream. Showmaker isn't all that impressive either right now. There are a lot of players that just aren't impressive. Like the top 3 are clearly the top 3 players right now. Shoot. I'm going to look at the player list real fast. We're going to go outside of the box. Shanks is 5th. For Team World Elite, we're going Shanks. I thought he played it really, really well. Looking at the rosters again, you think back. A lot of Team Wee's success had to do with Shanks and how well he did alongside Hang. And if the team even lost, Shanks is usually the player that I mentioned in the roundups because he dealt a ton of damage. His KDA was good. Just a really good player. I'm trying not to include like the players that really just didn't step up this past split. And I try and ignore it. And I said I try and ignore the last few months. But it's just really hard not to. 4th. Is Rookie. I don't know. Rookie is a really, really good player. Is he a bit washed? Probably. Is Faker a bit washed? Yeah. Yeah, I'd say so. So that's why Faker doesn't end up in the top 5. Spoilers. Not to say that Faker isn't. Just making sure my OBS is on the screen. Faker obviously is the greatest player of all time, but is he a top 5 mid right now? I don't think so. 3rd is Scout. Similar to Keen, Scout was the best mid laner in the world in Spring Split. Didn't get it done in the playoffs, and now is 3rd. He wasn't going to surpass the top 2 anyways. 2nd is Chovy. Did not win against Knight, who was 1st. And that's pretty much why it ended up the way it did. Not to mention, I thought both really took a step forward. Both took a step forward this past split. Those 2 players I thought were the 2 best mid laners overall going into spring. Hell, Chovy up until Worlds was my best player in the world. But Worlds happened. Chovy no longer the best player in the world, still my top mid laner, and Knight was 2nd. But then this past split, both took on a facilitator role in addition to laning. And both did an excellent job at that. And honestly, I thought to myself, this is a situation that can take Gen G to the next level and actually maybe make them better than last year, especially because Pace is doing so well. And we saw them go to MSI, win the LCK, so they have started to actually be better than they were last year. But at the same time, Knight on JDG has been absolutely freaking cracked. So, Knight's 1st. Bot lane. So, 1 into the problem is the young guys. The young guys are definitely really, really good. Juan Fang's my boy. It's hard not to put him in the top 5. It's really hurting me just to try and think. Don't think about him. Just overlook him. Just overlook him. Don't pretend like you don't think about him right now. Leave didn't show up in the playoffs where Pays did. So Leaf's probably not going to be in there. Light did really, really, really freaking well. So what are we going to do? I don't want to put Deft in there. People are going to expect Deft in there. They expect it. And that's the thing, like, expectations. I'm not at this point in Deft's career, he is a utility bot laner. I do not think he is a top-tier bot laner right now. I just don't. At his age, I just don't. I think he is a utility player, weak side player. Okay. Well, no, actually. I need to include... Okay. Okay. 5th is Light from Weibo. One of the best 80 carries this past split. Light's done very well in the past with LNG. I think that it can't be ignored that he is a really good player. Actually, a freaking disgusting player. Yeah, just absolutely incredible. 4th is Pays. I do think he's babied, but the fact that he's doing this at the age he's doing it is freaking insane. So, 4th for Pays. Just absolutely insane that he's doing what he's doing already at the level in which he's doing it. I think he deserves a lot of praise. 3rd is Elk. Elk showed up against the LCK bot laners. Elk was just disgusting during the split in the LPL and in the LPL playoffs. Elk in 2021 was one of my up-and-coming players that I thought was somebody to watch in the LPL, one of my favorite bot laners, alongside Juan Fang. And Elk last year fell off the face of the earth with Ultra Prime, comes back, is excellent with BLG alongside On, who is an Inter. So the fact that Elk is doing so well is incredible. One of the best Zeris in the world. Anybody can play Zeri except you, the viewer. So, 2nd is Viper. Viper's trying to 1v9 his face off, and it's just... HLE are a big ol' anchor for Viper. But he chose this path, so it's on him. 1st is Ruler. He showed it against Elk. He showed it throughout MSI. He showed it throughout the LPL. He's shown it his whole damn career. Ruler is one of the best 80 carries ever. He is in the argument for best ever. So, he's 1st. Support. So, top 3 are easy. Top 3 are easy. 4. 5. Is that really how I want to do it? Is that really how I want to play that? Yeah, that is how I want to play it. So 5th is Ming. He's unemployed, but Ming. Top 3 I've already got decided. And the order. 4th is... it's hard to say. I put 5th up there, and I don't know who's better than Ming. What am I doing? We're going to go Cal. I'm a big fan of Cal for Live Sandbox. I really am. If that isn't evident here. Bright future ahead of him. Did excellent with Prince. Did excellent with Envy. Is going to do excellent with Teddy. And at his age, doing what he's doing, Teddy is only going to make him better because Teddy's experienced, where Prince and Envy, not as much. It's going to be really good for his development. Cal is, a player to watch going forward as being a competitor for what will be the top support in the world. 3rd is Missing. Missing is excellent. Nothing against him. As I have the 4 JDG players up here, people are going to say, oh, you're picking MSI as the best player in each role. Who would have thought this, that, and the third? And it's like, at the end of this video, there's going to be a little box that's going to pop up with what it was at the end of Worlds. And you're going to notice that those players are also in the top 5 there. So it's not just because they just won. I've thought they've been good for a long time. So for them to still be good and end up on the list, who would have thought that a player I already thought was good, that after they win MSI stays on the list? 2nd is Mako. Mako, in my opinion, alongside Tarzan and Scout, Mako had a very big claim to MVP of the LPL. I thought what he did with Leave was extraordinary. Like, it was truly, like, in terms of like the true definition of MVP, Mako probably was it. He brought Leave along, and with that brought EDG along to a finish that nobody projected, and even EDG faithful didn't. 1st is Carrier. I think Carrier's the best player in the world. Didn't win MSI, hasn't won Worlds. Big deal. I'm looking at the last few years and literally his champion pool. It makes me, well, it's something to behold. Cannot deny what he does, and what he does is play excellent on literally pretty much everything. So, yeah, so those are my top 5 in each role right now. I'm probably missing some people, but they didn't come to mind, so evidently they're not that important. I'm sure there are going to be people that disagree respectfully. Otherwise, you're going to be ran. So that is what it is. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter. Join the Discord. Become a YouTube supporter. And I hope to see you again tomorrow.